Welcome everyone to my channel. Disclaimer, I've got no script. I got no plan. Well, that's not true. I've got somewhat of a plan, but everything's going to be spontaneous. I don't know what's going to happen. You won't know what's going to happen. So it's going to be fun for all of us. Hopefully. So today I wanted to just, spice up my content a little bit. I've been uploading some videos on my channel recently. They've mostly been sort of montage, educational videos, but I want to be uploading more frequently. So expect more content from me in the coming future. I'm planning to upload at least 2 times a week. No more, no less. I'm going to be making videos on a variety of things. They'll be from whatever's in here, which I'm terrified of. But if you guys have any ideas of what I should do, please let me know. Today I wanted to do something that, it's an unfamiliar territory. Not necessarily in the fact that a video like this has never been done before. It's just that I've never done a video like this before. So I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to do. So I'm just, walking the path, seeing what's going to come. So today I wanted to do a ranking of all the Harry Potter movies, but not necessarily in the right order. Let me explain. So usually when I see videos of ranking from worst to best, it's in what the title is. It's from the worst to the best. I feel like for me personally, I don't know if it's the same for you guys. I feel like that when they do the ranking videos, people just always skip to the end. It's like, well, it's good that you like that particular film from that particular franchise, but that doesn't necessarily reinforce my worldview. Did you see Snow White? Well, an opinion's an opinion and whatever, but I feel like that those videos are always very predictable. So I've decided to spice things up a little. So I got myself a container, and in this container I have written down all the Harry Potter movies. And what I'm gonna do is I'll pull one out, and I'll give my thoughts, and then by the end of the video we'll see which is my favorite and my least favorite. So we'll all discover this together. Why am I doing this video exactly? Well, a couple weeks ago, I recently revisited the Harry Potter series. I haven't actually seen Harry Potter since 6 years ago. Rewatching them, it was very refreshing. It was like watching them for the first time. Disclaimer, I am not a Harry Potter fan. I don't hate Harry Potter. I'm just not a Harry Potter fan. So I'm not really in depth with the lore or the world or the individual characters and their backstory. I don't really care either. If you want to get angry with me on that, get angry with me on that. I want to make another disclaimer. I'm not going to be, ranking the Fantastic Beasts films because I've only seen the first one, but I haven't seen the other ones, and I don't care to, and I have no opinion on The Cursed Child. I'm only reviewing the movies. Also, another disclaimer, I'm not really comparing to the books. I'm only really judging the movies as films. The filmmaking aspect and just them as standalone films as well. You might hate me for some of the opinions I have, but, sue me. Also, I'm not going to be commenting on J.K. Rowling because I don't want my YouTube channel to commit suicide, and I think that's best for everybody. So I guess without further ado, let's begin. Oh, let's just see that I've got them. Don't know if you can see that, but okay, I'm just gonna get it off the bat. I'm not a big fan of this movie. Don't hate it, just not a big fan. I feel like compared to the other films, it's definitely one of the more weaker films. I think that the first 2 Harry Potter movies especially, they just feel very childish and condescending and, talked down to. But, I guess it's because, they're made for a younger audience. I guess that's one of the reasons why Harry Potter is so appreciated, is because, as the movies and as the books goes, the older you get, the more tailored to that audience it becomes. But I just felt like for me, as a movie, it was mid. It was mid. The most charitable thing I could say about it. There are aspects I like about it. I really like the costume design and the production design, but that goes without saying, honestly. I think that the sets are cool. I think that for the time, I think the special effects are pretty cool. I think that what the first two Harry Potter movies do the best compared to the latter ones is its use of practical effects. As time went on, they used less practical effects. I think some of that had to do with money, honestly. They wanted to save a few pounds or dollars or whatever. I think that also goes without saying as well. Also, I think that the acting, especially from the child actors, you could definitely tell that the acting gets better as the movies go on, but I think that for sure in this one the acting is not great. I think that especially Daniel Radcliffe is a bit rough around the edges on this movie, but I don't blame him. He's a kid. I feel like that, child actors get it rough anyways, so that also goes without saying. Let's see. But yeah, no, I think that the story it's okay. It's very simple. I feel like the Harry Potter series, it always kind of feels like an episode of Scooby-Doo or something like that. But, they don't want to put it on that level because it's oh no, but it's Harry Potter, it's a bit more, up there in tier. But I don't know. I think overall, I'll give this movie a 5 out of 10. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this one. The Order of the Phoenix. Right, so this is the Harry Potter movie that gets dark. Ooh, it's so edgy. Oh, somebody died. Oh, actually, so before, spoilers. Spoiler. I am going to be talking about specific plots of the stories that will contain spoilers. However, with all due respect, these movies came out almost 10 years ago, and the 20 years ago for some of them. Even also the books came out even earlier, so if you haven't had time to read them or watch the movies, I'm holding you responsible for that. So not me, you. Not me, not Hermione, you. Yeah, no, but I like this one. I think that it's a lot better. I think Harry Potter goes on a really good direction with this film. It's a lot of fun, although I feel like it's a bit like, then they do this, and then they do that, and then they do this, and then they do that, and then somebody dies. That's important. And then everybody's sad, and then the movie ends. Bye. I don't know, I just think it's kind of a funny ending, because, yeah, somebody dies and Voldemort's back. The end. I don't know, I just find that very funny. My main criticism of the film is I feel like the movie, perhaps they didn't really show much of Cedric for me to care enough for when he died. I feel like that if they did that, that would have made his death even more impactful. I just feel like that, honestly, like his death was impactful because the movie told us that it's impactful, but I feel like that it didn't really feel like that for me. I feel like that's what a lot of movies do. I feel like one of my main problems with films is, and even books and stuff like that, I feel like that sometimes they build something up and it leads to something, and the book or the movie is trying to tell you to feel something for that, but it doesn't really feel earned. I don't think I really explained it like that well, but I feel like that's what it just feels like. It just doesn't feel totally earned. I think Robert Pattinson's a great actor, and I think he did a really great job in that role, but I just feel like for me personally, it wasn't totally earned. But I feel like despite that, I think that it's a decent film, and I'd probably give it a mid 6 out of 10. You'll probably be seeing a pattern with these movies as well as I continue reviewing them. The Deathly Hallows Part 2. So, yeah, I love this movie. This movie is great. I'll be talking about the other one later, but I feel like with this one, I just, like, so much is happening, but it's, like, in a good way. So much is happening in a good way. Like, they go to Gringotts, they go to Hogwarts, there's a battle at Hogwarts, Harry dies, but then he doesn't die, and then he survives, and then Voldemort dies, and just, you know, everything comes together. I don't, is it perfect? Is it perfect? No, but it sure hell is entertaining, I can tell you that. I think that Ralph Fiennes just does such an incredible job as Voldemort. Like, I was never really afraid of him, even, like, when I was young. Like, I feel like you were supposed to be a little scared of him, but I just thought he was so funny in that role, you know. Harry Potter is dead. Like, it's like, this guy, this is, like, meant to be the most intimidating individual in the wizarding world. Also, like, I never really understood the threat of Voldemort. So, like, Voldemort's essentially meant to be, like, Hitler. Like, the wizarding Hitler, essentially. And yet, like, he didn't even, like, take over the world. Like, he couldn't even, like, defeat high school students. Like, even in, like, the last battle, it's like they lost to a high school. Like, can you imagine Adolf Hitler losing, like, World War II because of some, like, elementary school students? Like, that's just not possible. Like, what makes these kids more special than, like, you know, any other person, honestly? Like, I just never really understood that, and I think that is one of the reasons that, like, I struggle to connect with Harry Potter, is like there's these aspects. Clearly, obviously, J.K. Rowling wrote them to be a sort of, you know, fantasy of, like, oh, you know, this is what I would have wanted high school to be like, and so on and so forth, and she didn't really think about the bigger, you know, connotations about, like, all these things and stuff. But I think that's just me, honestly. Like, that's just me, like, who thinks this. I'm just a dumb guy on the internet. Like, I don't necessarily think that everybody has that sort of opinion, but I don't know, that's just how I feel. But I say I give this one a 7 out of 10. This was a very fun movie. You know, it's kind of funny. I remember when I was younger, I really enjoyed this film a lot, but now, it's so boring. Like, nothing happens in this movie. And don't tell me something happens. Nothing happens in this movie. Seriously, nothing happens. Nothing happens. All it is just, like, they're going to school, and, like, Voldemort's back, but they're still comfortable sending kids to school. Like, they're not like, oh, don't go to school, kids. Wizard Hitler is on the run, but it's still safe for you to go to school. You know, it's like, you're chilling, basically. No worry, we got you back. What? Like, that doesn't really make that much sense, and I don't know, I think that it's so convoluted. It's something I forgot to mention with the Deathly Hallows Part 2, but, like, basically, both Snape and Dumbledore had this 4D chess move where it was like Snape killed Dumbledore, but really Snape was working for Dumbledore the whole time to basically convince everyone that Snape had joined Voldemort, but really he hadn't. He had just, like, do you see what I mean? Like, like, it's like, you're not telling me Dumbledore just, like, he was playing 4D chess and basically was, like, 20,000 steps ahead of everybody. You can't tell me he's like that. It's like the Deus Ex Machina. Like, I don't know. I just thought that was really dumb. Also, I'll go into this later, but the first 2 Harry Potter movies, they were directed by Chris Columbus, who also directed the Home Alone movies. And then the 3rd Harry Potter movie was directed by Alfonso Cuarón, who also directed Children of Men, Roma, Gravity, those films. And then the last Harry Potter film, so, like, all the Harry Potter movies from the 4th one to the 7th one, Part 2. All of those were directed by Peter Yates, and I just don't think he's a very good director, really. I don't think that he really, compared to Chris Columbus and Alfonso Cuarón, I just don't think he really had a great vision, like, directing the Harry Potter films. Like, I think that, like, the acting's pretty good for the most part. I just meant, like, just what to show, the cinematography, the lighting, and stuff like that, because this movie is so dark. I mean, you need a flashlight to know what's going on in this movie. Like, honestly, like, I couldn't really see. And also, like, this one specifically, it's, like, really ugly. It's like this grayish sort of green color, brown color. Like, it looks like poo. Like, I don't know, did he use a poo lens to film this movie? A dark poo? Like, you probably need to see a doctor about that, honestly. It's one of the weaker ones. I'll probably give it a 6 out of 10, but like a lower... No, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. This movie is so forgettable. If it weren't for, like, watching the other Harry Potter films, like, for it to make sense, because there are some aspects that they do explain in it, but, you know, I think that it's one that's worth skipping. Sorry, I'm just looking around because it looks like it's going to rain. You think, why did I do this outside? Well, you wouldn't believe this. This is, like, the best place for lighting in, like, the area I live in. My room is really, like, rubbish, so that's why I'm doing it out here. Oh. You know, honestly, I feel like with this one, it's quite funny because I feel like the things I have to say about this one are quite similar to what I had to say about the last one I was just talking about, the Half-Blood Prince. Like, so the second part I really love. I think that one's a brilliant film. The first part, it's just boring. Like, don't call it the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Call it the epilogue, or call it Harry Potter and the Great Exposition, because that's what it is. It's exposition, the whole film. It's like nothing happens. They're just like, oh, we're looking for the Horcrux. Oh, let's go to the Ministry. Oh, your parents are dead. You have no family. Oh, I hate you. Blah, 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 blah. And then they go there. Then they get captured. And then Dobby's a free elf. And then he dies. And then, yeah, it's just... That's all that happened. I know from when I explained it, it feels like a lot is happening, but really, no, don't. Nothing happens in that movie. Nothing happens. Like, that's what it should be. Like, Half-Blood Prince, Deathly Hallows Part 1. Nothing happens. 5 out of 10. Ah, yes. This one's brilliant. You know, I was complaining about how Peter Yates' films, when they lead up to the Deathly Hallows, they're quite dark with the lighting and stuff like that. I feel like what this movie did is that it had those aspects, but it was utilized way better than the later films. I feel like the later films were trying to replicate the style of this film, but it just, the director just wasn't talented enough to replicate that. But honestly, who could replicate Alfonso Cuarón? You know, this guy is the GOAT. He's like a 4-time Academy Award-winning director and has made such critically acclaimed films. Like, you just can't argue with the resume there. I think that, you know, I was explaining this to someone recently. Like, one of the things I love about this film is, like, it feels like a Tim Burton film in the sense of, like, just the gothic aspects to it. And I feel like that was something that Harry Potter was missing with the first two. I feel like with the first two films, it was definitely, like, way more whimsical and, like, oh, look, there's a wizarding world. Oh, look, there's a broom. Oh, look, there's a troll. Oh, look, there's the flying pumpkins. Oh, look, the ceiling. When it's dark, the ceiling turns into space, and then when it's light, and then when it's rainy, it's cloudy. Like, wow. But I feel like that by the third film, we're already kind of settled into this world, so I felt like that it was a really good expansion, and also I feel like it was a better sort of transition from turning it from more whimsical to a bit more darker. Like, I know no one really dies in this film, and Voldemort's not even in this movie as well, but I definitely feel like it prepares you for the tone of the next film. I think that just everything about this film is brilliant. My only criticisms of the film have less to do with like the filmmaking and more to do with just that it's Harry Potter, and there's just so many like plot holes and like inconsistencies and stuff like that that I feel like that really bring the film down. But you know, I feel like as someone who's not a Harry Potter fan, I really love this film. So I think I'll give this one a 7 out of 10, and I think it's my favorite one so far. There's 2 more to go. You know, I'm trying to even think what the other films are. Ah, yes, The Order of the Phoenix. You know, I think I did a mistake. I think when I read one of them, I read it as the Goblet of Fire, and then the other one, and this one's the Goblet of Fire I just read, but I think I read the first one as like the Goblet of Fire, but really it was the Order of the Phoenix. I got those mixed up. I apologize. With the magic of editing, we'll probably sort that out. But anyway, I'll talk about the Order of the Phoenix. I really enjoyed this film a lot. I know some people that don't like this movie, and I just don't understand why. Like, I feel like this movie's not great, but it's not one of the worst in the franchise. I feel like a lot happens in this one that you can really connect with, and I feel like a lot is going on for you to like really get invested into the film. Unlike the Half-Blood Prince and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, I think that you know, I think Umbridge is a good villain. I think that her you know, like I think that, you know, she's so unlikable that she is a great villain. You know, I think that you need villains like that in movies to really like hate, so that, you know, the payoff is really well. Although I feel like that was one of the downsides. I feel like her payoff wasn't really great. She was just like taken away, and you know, it didn't really feel like the total payoff that I feel like everybody wanted. But you know, you can't have everything, can you? So this movie has a lot of the problems that, you know, the other ones do, but, you know, I quite enjoyed it. I think I'll give this one a 6 out of 10. Right, the final one. Harry Potter and the Special Child. That's going to be controversial, and there's going to be comments everywhere, but let me explain. It's just a setup. You know, it's the first film. It's trying to, you know, like, figure out the world. You know, it's setting everything up for the next installments. Although J.K. Rowling, like George Lucas, did not have a plan. You know, as much as, like, the Harry Potter stans want to cope and say, oh, or as J.K. Rowling wants to cope, like, oh, you know, everything was building up. No, it wasn't. You know, you just made it up as you went along. I think that, you know, as, like, the first, you know, film, I think it's pretty good. It sets up everything. I think the acting is awful. Well, from the adults is fine. The children, you know. But, you know, like I said, their acting gets better as they get older. And you know, it's quite nice. Like, you know, you could tell how far they've come from, like, the first film to the final film. And it's, you know, really good to see that sort of progression. But, yeah, like, I also, I don't know. This is just another thing. But I also find it funny. So, like, you know how, like, Voldemort is, like, the Hitler of the Wizarding World. Harry Potter is like the Jesus Christ of the Wizarding World. And I just think it's funny that it's like, well, Jesus Christ of the Wizarding World still has to go to high school. And it's like, well, yeah, well, because he lived in a muggle place and blah, blah, blah. But you send him to Hogwarts, and I feel like everybody knows, like, where Hogwarts is. And from, like, the first to the final book, everything bad happens at Hogwarts every time he's there. Harry Potter never has a normal summer, he never has a normal semester at Hogwarts. And then also in every film, every time, like, something happens to him, it's always, like, within school. It's never in the summer break, you know? Like, wouldn't you think that would have been the best time to get him, would have been in the summer? I don't know. I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 10, honestly. Okay, so that's my review of all the Harry Potter films. I'm going to go from my least favorite to my favorite. So I'm going to go Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Deathly Hallows Part 1, The Half-Blood Prince, The Goblet of Fire, The Order of the Phoenix, The Deathly Hallows Part 2, and The Prisoner of Azkaban. So there you go. That's my ranking of all the Harry Potter films. We got it there in the end. What have we learned today? I think that we all have our own tastes and, our own opinions on things, and some people are going to like things more than others, and I think that's great. Feel free to leave a comment down on what your favorite Harry Potter film or your least favorite Harry Potter film is, or if you don't like Harry Potter, or if you like Harry Potter and you have some words to say to me. I'd love to hear them. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe, hit the notification bar. Make sure to follow me on Letterboxd and Instagram. I'm always posting on that stuff. You can find those links on the channel below. And yeah, take care.